Hey everybody, and welcome back to another XPlane 11 stream. We're on the ground here at Telluride Airport, and we're going to be doing a flight up to Aspen for a VFR conditioned flight. Weather today, scattered clouds and a small bit of cirrus way above us, about 20,000 feet. Winds are calm, no significant change, so it's ideal conditions here. This airport we're looking at, Telluride, brought to us from x-codr. It's available on the xplane.org store. We're using the summer textures. It does come with winter textures, but we're not going to go through that just yet. And it has custom mesh. So what we're going to do, we'll hop down to the plane, show you guys around it, and we'll start making tracks. So, the Cessna 177 Cardinal from Alabeo. Pretty nice plane, this. The history of it, it was designed to be kind of the follow-on to the Cessna 172. It's a more kind of sleek-looking design, an upgraded avionics package, and also even the glare shield, or the dashboard, if you like. It's very modernized and futuristic, but it's a really nice plane to fly. The modeling work, texture work, really nice. The airport that we're at, as you can see, there's fantastic texture work here as well. If we zoom out all the way. So we're looking here at Aspen. We're looking here at Telluride, and we're going to head on up to Aspen. As you can see from the elevation, we are way up in the mountains, so our mixture is going to be a bit of crack here as we're going to take off. But beautiful scenery all around the airport. It's really nice. So disappear our music, just have a quick look around this scene. So with that said, jump down. Similar to that of Coronado, the Alabeo menu system here, you can disappear it by using your rollerball or bring it back up. So we can get rid of our static elements, close up our doors. We're going to fly with the with our fairings on. So to get started, we can go ahead and turn on the battery. We can check here that our fuel selector is switched to both. We'll double check what fuel we have. We've loads. We'll just add a drop more. So get some lights on. Our GTN 750 is powering up here. Our avionics are off. So we're going to set our mixture to rich. Set our prop into full. And we're going to go ahead and turn on our fuel pumps. Turn our mags on here. We'll shout clear prop. There's a good start on our engine. Keep the RPM up at around 1,000. Lean our mixture here just to get enough power in. Alternator and avionics can now come on. Get some more lights going here as well. Our pitot heat. I didn't prime it, no need to prime it. The sim didn't realise. So over here, carb heat, leave it on a little bit. Oil temperature, all this good stuff is going to start rising soon. Turn some lights on in here as well. Pitch seems fine. 0 our directional indicator. So we are at 2 So we'll go into this guy here. Select a waypoint. So we're at Telluride. We just want to head up to Aspen, K-A-S-E, and the airport is brought to us up in Aspen by Aerosoft. It's about 90 nautical miles. Take us just under an hour, I'd say, to get there. So squawk, we're going to be VFR. So because of such a high altitude that we're at, our power settings are going to be essential here to get us off the runway. So we'll jump out. Great sound to this plane. So we're going to taxi all the way up and along, and we're going to head out this way, runway 27, out for our departure. So with that said, flight director can come on. We're going to set our initial altitude here to 11,000 feet. Clear these messages here as well. Okay, so quick check around. All is clear. Turn our taxi lights on. And we can start our roll here. Keep our fuel pumps on. Hope you guys are doing well. I just thought it'd be something different to fly in the US. I haven't streamed any flights around the US. These are certainly things I want to do in real life. I would love to go to America and fly around. As we're taxiing here, we can bring our flaps down. That should do us. So we're so high up here in the mountains. I think it's the highest airport in the US. I could be wrong on that, but I think it is. But great design here from x-codr with this airport. It looks fabulous. There's great reflection work done here on the ground textures. Okay. With flying in the US brings its own rules and bits and bobs. So we have our squawk code, for example, is 1200 for VFR. As I said, if we're back in Ireland or the UK, we squawk 7000 for VFR. Looking ahead of us, we have the ski slopes, which are modelled with this scenery. It has its own custom mesh as well, HD mesh, and I get fantastic performance here. So I've actually turned on VSync just to lock the frames at somewhere between 50 and 60, because they go all the way up to 100 and it doesn't actually remain smooth. It's a little bit jumpy. So it'll be interesting to see just how little power the aircraft actually has at this altitude. So we're at 1500 RPM. Ish. We put the mixture to full, that's dropping. So we lean our fuel until we get maximum power, keeping an eye on our temperature over here. Our EGT, that seems about right there now. So before we get onto the runway, we're just going to do a quick run up here, just go through our mags, make sure that there's no fouling on our spark plugs. Okay, so brakes on. Bring our throttle up. Looking for around 1700 or so. That'll kind of do. Go to our left mag. There's a drop. Back to both. go to the right, and back to both. Okay, so landing lights can come on. Leave our fuel pumps on as well. Strobes are on. We have world traffic running, so we just need to do a quick check of the runway to make sure we're clear. Seems to be clear to the left. We seem to be clear to the right. Okay. Get ourselves lined up here. Okay, looks good to me. Start bringing some power in. Our power is set. Airspeed's alive. We're going to rotate at 60. There's 60. And we're airborne. We'll fly the runway heading just till we clear it. Climbing speed here of about 70 odd knots. Bring our flaps in now. Watch our RPM. Bring our props back a small bit. Our mixture is behaving itself. Really nice. So we're just going to clear this peak here on the right hand side and start our turn. We'll get ourselves on course here. We're looking for 11,000. So we can level off here. So far so good. So just with our height restrictions here, we could be going over the mountains and the valleys there, but just want to let our speed build up. We're okay kind of flying around it, just a small bit of handrail in here. Mount Sneffels, I think that's the name of this area. Looks pretty nice. We're using Ortho 4XP here for our ground textures. Alrighty, our speed is looking good, so we're going to increase our altitude and we're going to go for 13,000 feet. We'll look for about 500 feet per minute. Cool. Speed just starting to peel back a little bit, but once we get to our altitude we can put the power forward. We're going to look for about 110 knots and then we can tidy everything up. At this altitude we can take our landing lights off now. We have our strobes on, that should be enough. Up on 12,000 feet now. A handy tool with the GTN is we can turn the terrain on here as well. That'll give us a good indication of what could be of high danger or low danger. So red means we're going to collide with it, yellow caution, and then it won't it might show green, but sometimes it doesn't. So certainly anything yellow will be cautionary, red is don't even attempt it, you're too low. So as your height, your altitude increases, they should disappear. As it decreases, they'll start lighting up. $500 to go. We'll turn ourselves back on course here. We want to get to that purple line, and then we'll engage the autopilot. Cowl flaps open before we burn ourselves out to the sky. Whoops. Oil temperature is very high now. That might drop with the cowl as well. We'll see. So oil pressure is pretty much on the needle. Oil temp is quite high. There's our altitude of 13,000. So we got our speed up here now. Autopilot on. Oil temp is dropping here now as well, which is good. We are propped back ever so slightly. Cylinder head temperature is still too high, but I should all calm myself down here shortly. Fuel tank's looking okay. Activate the GPS. Just want to make sure that this locks at 13,000, which it should. Speed looking good at 110. Oil temperature is back to where it needs to be. Cylinder head temperature is dropping. And everything starts to tidy itself up. I suppose if this were a real plane and this were real life, we'd be on the ground trying to figure out how we ended up there. Beautiful scenery all around here. So I think this is called Ridgeway State Park. This area just over here. It is called that. I have I'm just using Plan G, and it's a great way of kind of figuring out where you're flying. So Ridgeway should be, I don't know, around here maybe. This is Ridgeway. They have a state park up there. So we continue on up. About 34 minutes to our destination. Speed is good at 110. We're doing 134 over the ground. Fuel is okay. Temperatures and pressures back to where they belong. Our prop is okay. Manifold pressure is alright, and our fuel flow is actually fairly good. So this plane, the Cardinal, it's what do you think? I think it's nice. As we try to mess around with some cameras, it's I think it's really nice. It's, you know, it's another Alabeo, so they share that with Coronado. So, you know, from the design, modelling, texture work, PBR, modelling, all that good stuff, it's going to be top drawer. I do like the main panel. It's really well put together. The integration of the GTN 750, always nice when developers have the option for that. It is a third-party add-on, so it's always nice, you know, if you bought it, you want to use it. The reflection works all here, looking fantastic. It's quite nice at night time as well. So we'll have a look here around the back. Just a nice place to be in. As you can see, the interior is pretty modernised. Like, you've armrests there for the passengers in the back. Nice leather seats. So I think the idea behind it was a more modernised look and feel to that of the 172. Plenty of room back down here as well. Air vents on the ground. Really nice. And any baggage or whatever can go back here. So yeah, it's nicely put together, alright. The Alabeo fleet for their newer released aircraft, so the Cardinal, the Mooney, and I think the 207, all updated recently for XPlane 1130, so they're behaving themselves. You have the heat blur in the correct location, their handling seems to be right, the behaviour of the props is right, from what I can make out. Let's keep our heading bug there just in case there's an issue. Just beautiful scenery this part of the world. If any of you guys have actually flown this route in real life, I'd love to know what it's like. So outer window over here, that's looking on over to Montrose. It'll be interesting to see how Ortho 4XP works with some of the transitions, but I have to say it looks fantastic, doesn't it? So if we want to show off what this aircraft looks at night time, what are we there? Just gone 1:15, so we'll bring our time back here. Let's just show you guys what the lighting is like. Quite impressive. So we have our two dials here. No, we don't. We have our two dials. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so hide this guy. So this red light, you can disappear that. Instrument lights. So it is quite functional. Let me turn that light off. I wonder, can you turn that light off? Fuel heat nav lights, beacon, fuel pumps, cabin lights. There's no switch that I can see for this one back here, but that's not a big to do. Instrument lights. So yeah, that's kind of how it looks, guys. Shadows there, a bit strange looking. That looks impressive. I think we'll stay at that. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? So about 25 minutes away from our destination. Everything behaving itself so far. What I do as well, for the thumbnail views, right? So I'll jump to a location outside, spin the aircraft around. Let me think. We kind of want to be at this angle. And I just pretty much hit shift and spacebar and it takes a picture. But I have to say, with this lighting, this scenery looks absolutely stunning. That's one thing about using XPlane when you're flying in the US. It's so vast and diverse. Anywhere from mountains, deserts, like, it has it all. So we'll go into our trusty Garmin. We'll get a bit of information about our destination airport. Its elevation, not as high as Telluride. Aspen is just under 8,000 feet. So our approach is going to be looking for runway 33. We get parking somewhere in here then. Procedures, we'll probably do a visual for runway 33, which would be this one here. So we'll see how we go. We're about 20 odd minutes away. Speed is good. Temperatures are all behaving themselves now since we opened up our cowl flaps. This scenery is fantastic. West Elk Wilderness, seemingly it's this neck of the woods. Kirkanty National Park, I think that's out there to the right. I could have butchered that, I could be saying it wrong, but Kirkanty. Really, really nice part of the world, this. So guys, let me know in the comments if you want to see some more US flights. This is the great thing about XPlane, you can just go exploring. And like, you'll learn stuff as you go as well, like, so it's always interesting. Like, you'll see different elevations of different airports, you'll see different areas, regions, and you know, with that combined with Ortho 4 XP, you'll get a real kind of sense of the areas that you fly over and where you fly to. Now, speaking of which, we want to look at our radar here. KASE, I believe, is Aspen. So 20 nautical miles away from it, 80 nautical miles, so there is a bit of traffic floating around. Nothing at the airport at the moment. 20 to 40 mile radius. We can't see anything next or near us for the moment anyway. Our blinds work. It actually does work. It takes the glare off. But you can move these guys around and up or down, left and right. Cool. So as we're looking at our GTN, a couple of areas now that you can see these mountains are suddenly getting quite high. We have a couple of cautionary things here, and on our flight plan we're getting one indicator here, so we're going to have to climb or navigate around it. So ideally we want to be finding this line here. So when we get a little bit closer, we can deviate our flight plan to come in from this side here to avoid these high peaks. So for example, if we do a deviation and we head for 030, we can change this onto heading mode. We're going to deviate slightly, but the idea is we're going to pass and try and avoid the higher peaks. So I'm thinking a little bit more. Kind of see these peaks here in front of us, we'll go in between them. We'll probably add a couple of minutes onto our flight time, but we're not too worried. We'll do a small climb. There was one red little dot, it's now gone. And as we climb, our altitude goes up a bit. This becomes smaller and smaller. It'll be close, but not too close. So much of this has faded out as well, so it was the right thing to do. 300 feet to go. Our speed is dropping back. Our manifold pressure is set to its fullest. Our mixture is where we're getting full power. And we're good at that. Let our speed build back up. Looking good. About 15 minutes away here now. So a very unique shape. Gyro slightly off there. Very unique shape here with the main dash that comes down. It's very much like a car. Oil pressure a little bit high. Drop our manifold pressure there just to see. show you our plan G where we're looking. So this is us at the moment. Plan G is a free add-on you can pick up. So it's showing us our flight. That was the direct 2. Speed good at 110. Oil pressure's a little bit high, but we'll keep an eye on it. So at the time of making this video, guys, I've just read up there that Just Flight have released a update to the Duchess. I will have a look at it later on. I was reading up on some of the fixes that they did. I think one of the issues that I had mentioned in relation to the LibRain plugin with the rain, with the masks, they seem to be fixed. I think they fixed the trim as well, so I'm eager to have a look at that. So after this flight, maybe later on we'll do another stream flying the Duchess. Again, if there's anywhere you guys would like to recommend some decent places to fly around, this is just pure chance. I just said, sure, I'll fly up here. I picked up the scenery a long time ago with the view of just making a couple of nice videos and flying around the areas and that, but I have to say this is gorgeous. Really, really nice. So I'm sure there's plenty of other places you guys fly to, or maybe it's near your hometown or even in your own country, and you know there's nice scenic views or whatever. Just leave them in the comments below. It'd be great to have a look. Okay, so a couple of mountains here ahead of us. We're going to kind of fly to the right of this big peak here. So once we get over it, we'll be turning into the turning left. So we'll just adjust our flight plan ever so slightly just to stay away from that peak. We'll go into this ridge, and I think just after this mountain range we'll be turning left onto final. You can see as it kind of drops in here, Aspen's just on the far side of that ridge. So you have all these different wilderness areas that I can see here on Plan G. Hunter Frying Pan Wilderness Area. What a fantastic name. Interesting. So I wonder, is it a zoom level thing, or is that scenery that comes from Aspen, and then this is just kind of forgotten about? It looks fine from a distance, but the closer you get to it, it's a little bit blurred out. So I think we'll focus on this side. So as soon as we get past this, we're going to bring our speed down because we have a fair descent to make. We have 7,000 to descend in a relatively short space of time. Yeah, you can see this kind of line here. So that's pretty much from using Ortho4 XP. So there's one area or one tile perhaps that either didn't download correctly, or the file or the photo, or there's custom scenery over masking it. We'll title it up the next time around. There's some great tutorials out there. QA Pilot has a very good one in relation to Ortho4 XP. So we'll figure all that out. So once we get over this ridge, this small little line here is what we're looking for. This guy here. So we want to be turning onto that. So we're just coming along here. We're passing this big massive ridge out our left window, which is this guy. Okay, landing lights can come on. Let's have a quick look to see what we're going to be doing. We can pretty much fly down this ridge line. Procedures, we can do a visual onto runway 33. So deactivate the autopilot, my aircraft. Bring our speed back now. Pitch down to start our descent. Just keep to one side of this big mountain range here beside us. We're looking kind of so-so. We'll fly over this ridge and then we'll straighten up and tip down then into Aspen. Right, descent is fairly okay. Speed is good. can see as we decrease our altitude, our terrain gets a lot more red. That's just indicating that well, you have terrain around it. So as we fly around here, you see the runway. This is going to be fun. A little bit choppy, I'd say. It's just loading in some scenery. We're going to go down through this little canyon here. $12,000. Bring some power back. It's fine flying this in VFR. It will be very challenging in IFR conditions. It's a really nice approach though. Speed looking good. Okay, so we can drop a notch of flaps here. Let our speed bleed off. Adjust our mixture and our prop. We'll keep it steep just for the moment, just to get ourselves lined up. A little high, but we can correct that now in a sec. Flaps 20. Let's get our speed down to 70, that's ideal. Still a little bit high, but we got plenty of runway here. We got flaps full. Nice runway slope here. Keep our eyes down the centre line. Speed's at 60. Rate of descent is good. I'm going to watch for the flare now. Throttle back. Tiny little bounce, but we're down. Welcome to Aspen. We'll go for the next exit here on the right. Down to all the GA aircraft. Okay, clear the runway. Landing lights off. Bring our flaps back in. Probably get in beside the Cessna here. This is a nice spot, isn't it? Let's get ourselves parked in here. Somewhat half decent. Okay. So, Peter can come off. Taxi lights can come off. Fuel pumps now no longer need them. Avionics can come off. Bring our prop back. And we can cut our mixture. Lights off, and then batteries off. Some doors open here. There we have it. Doesn't this place look nice, if we can even say it? Welcome to Aspen. That was a lot of fun. Not a single procedure followed, but sure, look at it. It's an early morning stream, just to do a bit of exploring. I hope you guys liked the flight. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, I'll have a look at the Dutchess maybe later on. If you liked the video, guys, do hit that like button. If you really like it, hit subscribe. If you have any questions, comments or opinions, do leave them in the section below. I do read them, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. Until next time, take care, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you really soon.